you doing? How's everybody doing today? Alright, we got another modification I'm going to do. I already modded this guitar. I bought this guitar online on Facebook locally here for about 50 bucks with a came with a stand, came with a little amp. You know, you get these on Amazon. These kits run about, I don't know, 140 bucks or so. And I saw a really good deal on it. And I talked to the lady. She's really cool. Those are daughters, and her daughter never played it. It's basically new. You know, it's got some minor dings and some scuff work, and had a big old chip out of here, right in the corner. But I fixed that, and I modified it with a dual rail pickup. But it still sounds a little tinny. So what I'm gonna do is, I bought today. You know, I ordered a couple days ago on Amazon. I've got Pickguard here, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just put a single EMG with a single volume knob, and like I usually do with all of my guitars. I mean, more or less all my Strat style guitars have the same sort of configuration. But yeah, I'm gonna mod it real quick, and it's gonna look pretty killer when I'm done. And I'll take you on every step. I'm just gonna put an EMG 81. Gonna have to put a hole in the back here for the 9-volt battery compartment. I've done many of these. As you can see, you know, this is a low-end guitar. You know, you can see when they put it together. I mean, I set, you know, I already did all the fret work, so it plays really well. I leveled, crowned, and polished the frets, and did all that kind of good stuff. And I put my name on the logo and everything, because it didn't have a logo on the headstock. But I love the color, and this isn't actually binding. It's more or less just paint for the black binding, but it's still pretty cool. Pretty killer guitar. I really like the way it looks. But alright, so I'm going to take the pickguard, and I'll see you next step. First I'm going to take the strings off, and then disassemble it, and then take it apart, and then we're going to put an EMG 81 in the bridge. And I'll show you that, and we'll do that while we're waiting on the paint for the double neck cloud guitar and the Mean Hello Kitty guitar to finish. This is the second modification that I've done. Like I showed you earlier, I did the modification where I just changed out the all the hardware, or all the electronics and everything, and did the EMGs and the Colos guitar, and spent all that time polishing that guitar, and it looks pretty killer. Spent most of the day, and I'm going to spend the rest of the day doing this one. So I just love doing this kind of thing, so I'm going to mod it out. And alright, we'll see you in a sec. Alright, me again. This is basically the pickguard. Bought it on Amazon for about $10. And I'm going to take the volume, just the volume pot, and hopefully, you know, I'm probably going to change it out for a 500 ohm pot, because it's probably got a 250 in there. And the quad rail sounded okay, but it wasn't that great. So I'm going to put the EMG 81 in there, and it should sound pretty killer. Alright, like I said earlier in the earlier video clip, I'm going to take the strings off and dismantle it, and we'll see you next step. Alright, took the strings off, and I just wanted to show you the insides. This is how I did it earlier. I taped it up and everything like that, but seeing how I'm going to have to change to a stereo input jack, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to snip this is a ground wire, this goes to the claw, so I'm just going to snip that, because I'm not going to need that for them. You know, I'm going to dismantle all of this, so we can go ahead and snip all the wires. And that's all that connects to the pickguard with the it's a loaded pickguard with the humbucker and everything like that, or the single coil, but the dual rail. I'm sorry. So all right. So the next step is going to be I'm going to line up the new pickguard, and then I'm going to figure out where I'm going to drill the holes for the 9-volt battery. And we're going to get the EMG out and everything like that, and we'll be right back. Alright, see you in a sec. Alright, this is the new pickguard down there. This is basically how the guitar is going to look. And it's going to look pretty cool. And I decided I'm going to change the Headstock logo. I used the black logo. I'm going to go with a white logo. You know, match the pickguard and look pretty killer. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not fully 100% decided on that yet, but alright, so I'm going to figure out where everything is, and we'll be right back. See you next step. Alright, got all my parts ready. I'm actually going to add an on-off switch, and I'll probably put that right there, just on-off, just kind of like a kill switch. That way you can get a cool effect where you can flutter it on and off. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is my EMG 81 pickup. A lot of times when these pickguards, the EMG actually doesn't fit. So I'm going to have to, yeah, that's what I figured. See how it doesn't really fit. Well, it's not too bad. I've seen them a lot worse than that. Wow, yeah. Okay, well, I'll adjust this, and then I'll install that, and then I'll store, you know, the pedometer. I was able to find a short pot, because, you know, you have long pots and short pots, and 500 ohm, 500K rather. And so let me get that put on the pickguard itself, and then I'll be right back. Okay, got the 81 installed and the pedometer installed. This is a recycled pedometer. This is used from another guitar. And a lot of times when you know, I use black posts there, and a lot of times they're really super long like that. So I'm going to snip them real quick, and then we're going to figure out the 9-volt battery compartment. It's going to fit through the other side, but I usually line it up. I'll show you that. Line it up here. And you know what? I might decide against the kill switch. I still might do it. I'm not sure yet, because a lot of times it interferes with the. Because when I put the 9-volt battery compartment right in here, this will be like right where the kill switch will be. So it's just a kind of awkward. I mean, I've done it, but then I'll have to cut into the 9-volt battery compartment. And you know what, this time around maybe I'll just do without it, just make it easier for the easy build, because you know, it doesn't really need it. I mean, it's just an added kind of thing. But alright, we'll see in a second. Alright, I marked off for where I'm going to install the 9-volt battery compartment, and as you can see, I put some tape on there. That way I don't use a marker or anything like that, and I can leave it. And I'm going to try to save the finish too, because I got the tape on there. So what I'm going to do, what I already started to do, I'm going to score around this, and then I'm going to work on taking this out. I can do it with the handsaw. I can stick a hole, and then I'll get the handsaw, and then real slowly and gently work this out. Alright, I'll show you the results when I get that done. Alright, see you in a little bit. Okay, what I did, I marked for the 9-volt battery compartment, and I'm using this one right here. And as you can see, I marked the 2 holes down in there, and then I simply took the my X-Acto blade, and then I made a couple holes, and then I pushed through to the other side. Let me show you that. So, and it went through like that, and I want to try to not scar the finish at all. So what I'm gonna do is, I got the 2 marks, and I'll do the 9-volt battery compartment like that, and it'll lay out about like that. I'll put it at a little bit more of an angle, and instead of marking with a marker or anything like that, I'm just gonna tape where the hole's gonna go. Alright, created a hole in there. Now I'm gonna take my handsaw and then gently, you know, feed it through, and then reattach it, and then gently saw all the corners and make it fit. Alright, we'll see you in a second. Alright, got the hole opened, and it fits perfectly. Let me show you. Yeah, there you go. 9-volt battery compartment is installed, and then I'll put the screws in, and then there you go, just like that. Boom. Alright, we'll see you next step. Alright, got the 9-volt battery compartment installed, and we are good to go. Okay, see you next step. Alright, next step is going to require me to use the Dremel Tool. I installed the stereo input jack for the active pickup. I'm just going to go with the standard one that they supply. But as you can see, normal cavities don't allow for that. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to Dremel this out, this cavity, a little bit in here, so this way this has somewhere to go into. So we'll see you next step. Actually, second thought, I was able to save a step. I just simply bent the tabs. When I solder the tabs in, the hot, the neutral, and the battery pickup, and I was able to bingo. So that'll line up perfectly without having a Dremel, which saves a big step. So okay, alright, let me get this in there, and I'll be right back. Alright, got some wires prepped. We're going to go with the white for the neutral, red for the hot, and then the black that goes to the battery lead. And let me show you on this particular, these are the, you know, they're fairly cheap, but they work pretty good, input jacks. And let me try to show you what you're looking for. Okay, the top pin is the hot, the center pin, and then the neutral pin, you can see where it lines up to the neutral. I'm not be able to see if you'll be able to see this through here, but because the light's not cooperating. Okay, let's see. Now see, this pin right here connects to the center, so that's the neutral, and then this pin connects to the top, which is the hot, and then this is the battery lead. And you'll see, I think I mentioned this before in a prior video also, that when it comes to active pickups, the very top is the hot lead, and this is the neutral or the black for the ground for the battery. So the top is always the hot, so when it connects to the top. Alright, let me get this wired up with the appropriate wires, and we'll be right back. Alright, got everything soldered up to the appropriate places. Now I'm going to fish that through the opening, the hole right there. There's a hole right there. Fish that through, and then put these with the screws, and I'll be right back. Alright, good to go. And one thing you always want to make sure to is you always want to make sure you stick your plug in there and it's free and good. And it's easy to push in and easy to push out, because sometimes if it's cramped in there. Okay, well, let me get this wired up and see you next step. Alright, now what I'll do now is I'll take the 9-volt battery connector, and I'll fish it through the other side, and then I'll have the wire sticking out. And one thing I always like to do is I like to get the hard ones. See how this is the hard version? There's a softer version, but that's always a pain to get off and on the 9-volt battery. But anyway, I'll fish that through, and then we'll start wiring. Alright, see you in a sec. Alright, seeing how, you know, this is fairly simple, you know, wiring diagram and everything like that, I'll show you how I wire everything. I don't think I've ever done that before in a video, and I'll use a little bit extra length as far as the wires that way, and then I can always wrap them up and then stick them in there. But alright, let me get everything set up and I'll be right back. Alright, first thing you want to do is connect the EMG connector, and I trimmed off the excess so I could use that with here. So, and normally, you know, EMGs, the newer ones, have the quick connect, but these are the old style, so it's pretty simple. So 3-prong goes on there like that. It's a little tricky to do it one-handed. Let's see if I can do it there. Alright, there we go. Cool. And I always put a little bit of towel so it protects the finish of the guitar. Okay, so on the EMGs it's kind of weird. The black is actually the ground, and the white is the hot, and then the red is the hot for the battery lead. Alright, so what we're going to do is on the connector, okay, what you want to do is the hot actually goes to here. Alright, let me wire it up a little bit and I'll be right back. Alright, this is the wiring diagram I'm going to use. This is for a Seymour Duncan, but it's basically the same thing. EMG Seymour Duncan, I mean active pickup. And you can see the way we're going to wire it. Okay, there's going to be a lead, the ground that goes to the bridge, the claw of the bridge. Okay, the hot tip from the input jack is going to go to the center. Okay, and as like I said before, on the EMGs, the white wire is actually the hot wire. So the white wire will go to the first port. The third tongue is always wrapped up and grounded to the top. And I always scratch on a new, this is a used one, but a new pedometer, I always scratch, make sure you're getting in the metal, and then that way you can ground. And then the ground for the input jack will connect up to the ground. Okay, and then the bare wire, which will be black in this case, will actually go to the ground. Okay, the red wire will connect to the positive of the 9-volt battery connector, and then the black, like we said, the black on the input jack will go to the black on the battery. So, seeing how that diagram is just like that, like I said, you know, ooh, I just broke my glasses, great. Alright, we'll be right back. I'll talk to you in a second. Okay, sorry about that. I actually sat on my pair of my good reading glasses, which really, it happens, you know. I always break these glasses. I got quite a few backup pairs, but you know, when you get older, your near vision goes, so you need to wear these. All right. So what I did is I took all the ground wires. Okay, the ground wire from the input jack, the ground wire that connects to the claw underneath there, and then, like I said, the black on the EMG pickups is the ground. So I connected them together. That way, when I go to solder, I'll just solder all those. Well, actually connect the wire, and then I'll solder them to ground. Okay, and then the white is the hot. So the white will go in the first position. The hot from the input jack is red. So we're gonna take that, and that'll go into the middle position. And then the black from the input jack goes to the black of the 9-volt battery connector, and then the red from the pickup will go to the red from the 9-volt battery connector. It seems complicated and it seems kind of overwhelming, but when you do it enough times and you get practice at it, it's really no big deal. And then you always have your wiring diagrams to fall back on. So let me wire this up and we'll be right back. Alright, we're all good to go. We're wired up and ready to get a test going. So I always have my little Marshall stack right there, or a little combo amp anyway. Alright, so now I'll plug it in. Make sure the pot is turned all the way up, and then we'll tap the we're not getting any reading. Maybe that's off. Okay. We got a bad pot. Well, that kind of sucks. Alright. Well, I think I got a bad pedometer. So, yeah, see the test, because it's good here. We're hot. Okay. Alright, let me figure out what we're doing here, so I'll be right back. Alright, you know what you do when you had a super long day and you forget things? You forget to put the 9-volt battery in the housing. So that, and active pickups require a 9-volt battery to work. So, alright, let's try this again. Alright, so I got it plugged in. Pedometer, I imagine that's turned up. And let's check, I guess that's down. And let's turn the volume up. Alright, we've got an active pickup. And then turn the volume down. Alright, successful wiring job. Yeah, 9-volt battery is important. Alright, let me flick this around and then install the Pickguard, and we'll be right back. Alright, Pickguard is installed. And actually I liked it to go, instead of going with a fender type knob, I went with the black knob, and it's matte black, because this is matte, and the pickup is matte, of course. But yeah, I think it looks better than the black volume knob. Since how I'm gonna, it doesn't have like a official like a fender headstock shape. So yeah, there we go. All right, so I'm gonna work. If I can find some, got some matte white for the Cricut. I can do a matte white logo, but see, the pickup is glossy, and so, or the Pickguard is glossy, so I'm not sure if I'll change this or not. Still gotta debate it. I do have a made in the USA in white, but I mean, think about it for a little while, and I'll be right back to you. Alright, working on the logo. Call this one the Facebook guitar, and that's the present logo. This is matte, and then I had a gloss one, so it looks a little weird. So, but I'm cutting out matte white because that's the only, I couldn't find any gloss. This is the only size gloss piece I have left, so I'm not sure. We'll take a look and see what it did. It might have been a little too big. I don't know. We'll take a look. All right, I'll see you in a sec. All right. finish the headstock logo. That's what I came up with. Actually, the raglan part I put over the black, and then I took off the Made in the USA, and then the registered trademark symbol, and then there you go. So let me restring the guitar, and then we'll be all set. Alright, looking good. Alright, we'll see in a little bit. Alright, how's everybody doing? Modification complete. Oh man, this thing plays like, it plays effortlessly, and then sounds just killer with the EMG pickup. I mean, EMG 81, that's always been my favorite. But yeah, modification completed. Oh man, this guitar is bad to the bone. I'll do a full demo. It's just killer. Oh man. But yeah. But yeah, turned out really good. Phew. I am tired. 2 guitar mods in one day. It's crazy. Yeah, it turned out really good. The headstock is pretty awesome. The logo turned out really sweet. Yeah, not bad for a $50 guitar and some upgrades, of course. But yeah, I bought this guitar for $50 on Facebook, and it just turned out amazing. But yeah, there we go. You can always mod guitars, modify guitars to make them sound and play perfectly. It's a lot of work, but it is way better than it was. So, alright. Hope everybody's having a good night. We'll talk to you soon. Stay tuned for the sound demo on this. I'll do a little musical bit with the sound. Alright, talk to you soon. But alright. And actually this is a guitar I picked up from a really awesome person I met on Facebook. Of course I'm going to modify it. I did set it up. It was completely unplayable when I first got it. But yeah, it's a pretty cool guitar. Yeah. It's an Amazon. I fixed the chip. There was a chip in the corner there. Put my name in the headstock, of course. Did all the fret work, level, crown, polished, all that good stuff. Frets are, plays really awesome. I did put an EMG single coil pickup in it, but it still sounds a little tinny. I like the real fat, girthy sound, but I'm gonna ordered a single, one of my usual setups with the humbucker and the bridge, EMG 81, and then a single volume knob, and that'll be it. But anyway, but yeah.